What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
Chill out, dickwad.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another Season 34 Diablo 3 video. This is episode 9 of our hardcore SSF playthrough. Thank you for all the comments and love on the previous videos. Really does keep me going. I do read all the comments. I am trying to get back to as many as I can. I start my new job on Monday and I've got tons of like pre-reading and prep because it's a sector I'm not used to working in. But yeah, I will try and do a little better now. Unfortunately guys, I've been completely potato and I've deleted episode 9. So this is the second time I've done it. I can't take the game time off the character, so eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that we've passed 800 Paragon points. Unfortunately, it's just totally my fault. I completely screwed up and deleted the wrong video. I emptied the recycling bin. Unfortunately, it did contain what we needed, which was the footage of the last hour's gameplay. So I guess I'll just bring you up to speed. We have rolled up our fantastic Guardians version, which was the Primal that we crafted at the end of the last video. We have got no more angelic crucibles. We still only have 5 of these. We found an extra petrified scream key, which is pretty good. And we advanced on to the staff of herding in the altar of rites. Now the only thing that we need is the gibbering gemstone and the mushrooms. So they were the only things that were outstanding. So I augmented up a weapon with the gem of ease, which was the plan at the end of the last video. And yeah, that's basically as far as we've got. So unfortunately guys, I am potato. I will make mistakes. I can only try and learn from them. And yeah, basically an hour has gone, but I think we'll run the series up until episode 29, and then episode 30 might well be like a reflections or maybe a final push and rip the character, that kind of thing, something like that. Now it looks like we just got ourselves a better convention of elements here, because this can be rolled like the 50 crit, and it's got fire resistance, and it's got slightly more on the elemental and slightly more on the strength as well, so that's not bad. But yeah, I think in the last hour I've ran Chiltara quite a lot, unfortunately with very limited success, so that's not bad. So we're already up on damage with just putting in those few gems that we had. So let's swap this over because I think we do like this better because it is a bit more damage. Yeah, Chiltara unfortunately is frustrating because it is like a 50-50 chance as to whether when you come into the Bridge of Corsic, whether you get the Clear the Caverns of Frost or whether you get the Icefall Caves. And then I think Chiltara has got allegedly about a 70 or 80% spawn rate chance herself, and then we've got a 20% chance to spawn the actual gibbering gemstone at the end. Now I've killed this sack of goop quite a few times, and unfortunately we haven't got it, so I'm feeling more like 10% at the moment. I did jump into a couple of visions as well in the last episode, just whilst we were doing this, basically looking for Chiltara, because I just thought, well, what the hell, we may as well do it. And we have vaporized her already, as it says here. We've killed her, but I don't see a gibbering gemstone, guys, so it looks like this run is no good. Now obviously it is just a little bit of a frustration doing this. It's a bit of a pain point, but all we can do is keep flipping the game and coming back and just trying again, because yeah, 50-50 every time you make a game, 80% spawn rate, that puts you at 40% every time you make a game, and then knocking that down by like 20% chance, should be about 8% chance every time you load up a game that you get it. I personally don't think that it is like that high, at least that's not my experience. Of course somebody will get lucky every season and just like kill her instantly and you get it on the first drop. I've been okay the last few seasons. It's not been too painful. This is starting to get painful because I think I'm certainly at like 10 plus kills of her now. Whenever we get Icefall Caves, that's just instant leave game. In terms of my main account, as I said, I'm preparing for a new job, so I had to put tons of reading and like courses and stuff into that. So game time has dropped off considerably. I'm hoping to maybe get up to 2k Paragon fairly soon though. I've worked out how to do Z-Barb, which I was, I knew how to play Z-Barb anyway from previous seasons, but I think like when you get to this stage of the season, like the first few weeks of the season's normally fine, everybody's nice and friendly and it's quite casual, and I think once you get like a couple of weeks past the season, you just end up in public groups playing with people who are they really like their Diablo, which is fair enough, it's good for them, but they perhaps don't have quite the social skills one would want from grouping. So as an example, I came into a Z-Barb group. I had the Z-Barb, I think, from the max roll guide. Maybe I've made a modification to it myself, but I came into it and I said, listen guys, I've not done much Z-Barb this season, so the build might not be right. I'll change it as we go. Obviously with that being like, I guess, a subtle hint as to like, can you check my build? So maybe I should have just been a bit more forthright and said, can you check my build please? We played for about 45 minutes or so, and it went fine, but I didn't have the executioner axe, so we were missing 10% damage. One of the people seemed to leave in a bit of a huff, not very happy, and it's a bit like, well, just say, can you put the item on? Because like, yeah, I can, it'll take me like 2 seconds, I'm not gonna argue with it, especially after I said I haven't done this much this season. But yeah, this is just how we are, unfortunately. The game is old, and some people, I mean, I've been kicked out, I think last season, of a public group for basically setting up an XP barb. It was like early in the season, didn't have the Raycore pieces, and they basically, you're too slow, go away. And it's just like, well, if you take that attitude, then you're going to reduce the pool of players, because most people don't have thick skin. They won't just go, okay. But with interactions like that, all you can do, take them on the chin, learn what you've got to learn from them. In my case, last season it was make a Raycore barb. In this season it was put on the relevant item in the cube. So it looks like we've ripped this one because there's no Chiltara again. Yeah, and you've just got to take the learning yourself and not take these things personally. But it definitely does put people off, I think, doing public groups if like the attitude is not like supportive and helping, because you just end up like feeling like, well, I just don't want to be here, because like obviously a lot of people who play like the 3k Paragon Plus, they don't spend the blood shards, they don't pick up the items, because obviously it's just not worth the time anymore for them. And obviously I'm like playing Barb, going, I've got no Barb pieces, I want to save all of this stuff. Right, we're going to jump into this. So this is what we were doing the last time. If we get a vision, we just jump in it, because like this one's crap, it's dead small, but some of them can be long, some of them can have goblin fields, and we will need some bounty mats, so we can kind of like double through and not waste like all of our time just trying to find the Caverns of Frost. Then that'd be good. We got a really funny one in the last episode and it's gone. It was like a 1 floor vision. I was just like, what's going on? This is insane. It is so small. That's what she said. But at the end of the day, it's worth jumping in, because sometimes you do get the goblins on the first one, sometimes you get them on the second one. Just gobble the stuff up when you can get it. Right, come on Chiltara, let's go. Gibbering Gemstone. I don't wish to be spending multiple hours doing this. I think I probably spent about half an hour of the last episode that is lost forever, killing her over and over again with no success. I think the first season we ever did this, it took me like 3 hours. Me and another player called Necroborg, and we were both making games frantically, looking for the Caverns of Frost, both trying to find her. And unfortunately we could not, for love nor money. And then at the end it dropped for me and it didn't drop for him. I felt so guilty, because we've been playing together for 3 hours and I was just like, yes, get in, amazing. And he was like, yeah, it didn't drop for me. So that was a bit of a bad moment. But allegedly they've buffed the drop rate of the gem from like 5% to 20%. Certainly doesn't feel like that. Now if we get the Cursed Glacier, that is an automatic rip, guys, because that will definitely spawn the Icefall Caves, which is of course the other dungeon we want Caverns of Frost, because Chiltara only spawns in there. It took quite a few goes to get the shin bone as well. That looked quite frustrating because you're literally making the game, walking like a teeny tiny amount into a map and then having to like exit it again. But I was quite pleased to get past the 800 Paragon, so that was something that was definitely good. I don't think we advanced in GR tiers at all. We're still on the leaderboards at like, I think we've dropped like 3 or 4 places since the last published video. And I think that's probably going to carry on. I don't think many people are going to be doing much about the season at this stage of proceedings. We might get some people who come back to try and finish something off. Icefall Cave, so that is a rip. Mushrooms, I think I meant to check before jumping back on to record, but in my complete state of distraught anguish at losing an hour's worth of footage, I have not done so. I think it's Cathedral level 2, the mushrooms, but I'm not 100%, which is why I'm not trying to do that as well. That's a very frustrating one because, again, I'm not entirely sure what the spawn rate is, and I don't really know how to tell exactly when the spawn has happened. Of course, any bounty like this where we get the Caverns of Frost as the actual bounty is really helpful because you get your little yellow arrow. It means that it's much easier to find. And then now we're just onto that 80% spawn rate of Chiltara, allegedly. I think 70% is probably optimistic. I'd say she's maybe like about 60% of the time. I think she only does floor 2. I'm not 100% on this. So there we go. We've just killed her again. And no gibbering gemstone, unfortunately. I picked up a decent pair of gloves actually in the lost footage as well. They are ancient, which is nice, but they've only got the 8% crit, which is like the minimum roll, so that wasn't great. But again, I've kind of chucked them in the maybe pile just to have a little look-see at. I don't think there is a bounty for the mushrooms, because if there was, we could check every time, because I'm pretty sure it's in Act 1 Cathedral. I want to say level 2, but it could be level 1, so I do need to check that before spending any time, because the worst thing we could do is spend like 20 minutes looking and it being the wrong place. Now, when the Icefall Cave spawns really near to the entrance of the map, that's fine. When you get the game that says Glacier or Clear Icefall Caves or whatever, that's fine. Where I think this does start to get frustrating is either when you can't find the cave, because sometimes the spawns are a little bit funky. It's normally speaking in the same place. Don't know about this one. Kill the such and such the Gruul. He could be. It looks like he's on the actual battlefield because we've got the clear 150 enemies. Sometimes I think the cave can be like down here on the left. Sometimes it can be like all the way up here. Sometimes it's like just directly up from the waypoint. Sometimes it's over here. Yeah. Not the most fun thing to be spending your time doing. But I think there's probably just about enough of this. I think if there's any more like RNG in this, it would be really, really sucky. And even if the chance is like 10% every time you make a game that you actually get the gibbering gemstone, you can make like 30-40 games. I feel a little bit like it's more like a 5% chance, or maybe even less, to get the gemstone. So to get the Caverns of Frost, to get the Chiltara, to get it to drop it. But maybe that's just the like recency bias, because I've been at this for ages and it hasn't. So Zelusa is an enemy we can get quite a lot. I'm not going to bother going into Whimsyshire. Don't really think that's worth it. I'd rather just run a sanctified puzzle ring. So my gemmies. And it looks like no Chiltara in this one, unfortunately. So back to the menu. Now, I haven't really been stuck on this probably more than an hour since the first time that they put the altar back up. I've had generally quite good luck, so I suppose I can't really complain too much. But I think maybe like a worst case scenario is is possibly like maybe 3 hours. Because there's no mercy system and each probability is independent, it just means that like your 100th time of making the game, you're no more likely to find the gibbering gemstone than you are on your first one. A little bit like the ancient hellfire emirates, it's super easy to get stuck on this. I'm possibly taking my runs a little too wide to the left when I'm starting them off to try and find the cave, but I desperately don't wish to be double backing on myself. So let's see. Hopefully it's down here somewhere. I managed to find the cave every single time in the last episode. Sometimes I have like managed to not find it somehow. I'm going to leave that. I think we'll maybe come back for it. We're at the risk, I think, of getting massively over on the bounty mats because Forgotten Souls are only about like 500. So we only really need like 50 of each bounty mat. And I appreciate there's another 20 hours or whatever to go. So there is a long time for Forgotten Soul farming, but I just don't see there's much point in like overshooting it massively. And we probably need to think about augments pretty soon as well, because if we go and do that other Echoing Nightmare key that we found in the long lost footage, then we've already got one Whisper of Atonement 125 in the stash. So a couple of augments I think would help. Yes, finally! We finally get ourselves another angelic crucible. But do you know what we don't find? We don't find Chiltara. So, yeah. I'm really, really hoping this whole episode isn't just looking for the gibbering gemstone. But I've got to be realistic, it could well be. Simply just because the chances are unfortunately very, very low. But I guess if I start to get mentally fatigued, maybe I'll just go do some keys for a break. And once we've done this, then the only thing is then GR110, and that should be pretty easy, I think. Legendary gem wise, let's not say the naughty word swiftness. YouTube rejected all my appeals to have those videos monetized again, so according to YouTube, something of swiftness is bad to say. But yeah, I don't really get why. But that particular gem needs a little bit of leveling. The esoteric needs a level. I think Zeiss is decent. We're at like 106 for that. We've got the Boon of the Hoarder that still needs doing. Up to 50. I think that's possibly worthwhile doing it, because again, we're only doing the one build. We've only got to get like one set of legendary gems up. A few people suggested in previous episodes trying the gizzard gem for speeds to get like the shield. So that's something that we could do. Right, we've had a few Icefall caves in a row, so let's hope that this one is a Caverns of Frost one, and that we can jump in and find what we need to find. But sometimes you just have to pray the altar of Iron Jesus and just say, come on game, box me off. We've put in the time, we've put in the work. We're still looking for any kind of spare flail, any kind of spare shield, because I think we're going to sanctify either one of those two things. Now, we could just re-sanctify over the ones we've got. That is certainly an option. But I don't really want to. Right, this is looking like one of these dodgy ones where I struggle to find it, so it could be this little block up here. Maybe we just missed it. Yep. So that's unfortunate. I mean, the quicker you can get this done, the better, because this is a real drag on like progress. Because yeah, we get a paragon point there, but in general, this is not a good use of time. I'm very relieved that we've got the Shinbone and the Liquid Rainbow. The plan from Israel popped out quite quickly. I think we only did like 2 or 3 runs for him, so that was nice. Right, that was not Chiltara. It was Wiso the Gorgon. And we've killed Zlusa. There's Chiltara. She's dead. There we go. Yes. Phew. Well, that's not bad. I think that has taken me about 45 minutes, albeit obviously we've only done like 20 of them now. Fantastic. So that is good. So mushrooms, I want to say, I'm just going to look this up real quick because I think I want to know, where do we get the magic mushrooms? So let's pop the game back up for you guys. I should have done this first. Where is the black mushroom? D3. Oh, level 1 cathedral cell. I would have been wrong. There you go. That is worthwhile looking up. Right. The belt, of course, is easy. We buy that from, I think, Squirt. Oh, gold goblin. We'll take that. Gold is handy. Now, I don't really know how to read this particular tile set as to whether it is one that's got the mushroom or not. The mushroom is always in like a little corner room, but I can never tell how to know which, like, it's not that way, I don't think. I think it's normally like along one of these bottom sections, but I've not done this enough to learn how to read the map. So it could be like in a corner room. It looks a little bit like the room with the butcher from the Tristraming event, so I think this one's a rip. What I tend to do is, because I'm not entirely sure how to read the map, I'll just spawn in and I'll like have a little look round for like 30 seconds or so. What I really don't wish to do is backtrack. And yeah, if I can improve my reading of the tile set, then perhaps maybe I'll have a bit of a better idea as to what to do. But unfortunately, as I say, I don't think you can actually get a like indication that it is spawned or not. And this is like a bit of a square, this. So it could be, it's like in here, so it should be here now, I think. So that's the room. This is the exact tile set we're looking at. But unfortunately, the mushroom also is not 100% chance. I kind of thought it was. I was pretty sure that if we got this tile set, we'd get the mushroom, but that obviously again was wrong. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's got a high spawn rate because I don't feel like I've been in that room many times without the mushroom. So let's try again, I guess. That's what we're looking for. And as I say, I can't quite work out how to look for it. So maybe there's a strategy of just like pegging along this way until we get to the end. It's like it's not this way because that I think goes back around into a square. So maybe down. I think this is where it just feels a little frustrating because, you know, the worst thing is spending time and not knowing that you've got the chance. But it looks like we made the right call because we do find it. Here we go in the square. So that's probably been one of my fastest mushroom finds. So that is good. So I think that's it, guys. I think we just need the belt. There might be one more ingredient that I've forgotten about. But let's go to Act 2. Let's buy the bells. I don't think we need the stuff in the inventory. So, words belt. Guess we'll look at all the goodies that we've got. We've got AOV boots, of course. Fist of Heavens and Ancient would be lovely. We get neither. The shoulders are no better either. So let's have a look at staff. The staff of herding, and we can craft one. So there we go. That is awesome. And it pops out regular staff herding. I'm not going to bother going to Whimsyshire again. I just don't think it's worth your time. I think particularly this season with this sanctified puzzle ring, it's absolutely fine to get. So there we go. Staff of herding is done. So that is pretty good. And we've got one more thing to do, which was dodge chance. We should have done that ages ago. That should have been done before those other ones. Right, so we've only got to go up 5 tiers. So I think we must have done a 105 then. So we've only got to push up to 110. That's nice. And then that is the altar unlocked. We just then need primals, which will be a case of flipping over rifts as fast as we can. Or the other option, of course, is to do the visions. Now we need 4 primals to get this fully unlocked. I'm not giving up these guardians. Absolutely no. I don't think we've got any other primals kicking about. We can salvage this and get one back once we find another Flail of the Ascended, or we could go over these 3 again. Maybe we should do, because we do have that extra Crucible now, so maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll do that before we go and try and do this GR110. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. That is effectively the weapon we've got right now. So yeah, that's good. I think we've got a spare gift as well. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. It begins with R, doesn't it? Ah, well, there we go. That's a little bit of a fly in the ointment. Okay, so we need a gift socket. So we'll just be patient and wait for one of those. But once we've got that, we're going to salvage this Flail of the Charge because we don't need it anymore. And we're going to get rock with the sanctified one because, of course, the squirts is sanced, but we've got this one here, which is a nice 9% damage increase anyway. And it's got a little bit of fire resistance on it as well. I'm not sure why that sanctified doesn't have another secondary, but there we are. Right, shards wise, I think we're going at the moment for belts, just because I would really like an ancient vigilante. It's not a bad item to reforge, to be honest, because the most important thing is probably ancient. Of course, again, we would like the strength, vitality, all res and life percent. But yeah. Right, we also found a slightly nicer Stone of Jordan last episode as well in the lost footage, so we are rocking fire, which is good. So yeah, I guess we just do this and accept that it's just going to be a little bit slower. Now, somebody also suggested that we needed to swap off the generator on the build. We were using the hammer thing for like the move speed, not that you ever press it. And I've popped on consecration on left click, which I've seen some people do, but again, I just don't ever really seem to press it much, to be honest. Now, this is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world because we're no longer like completely one-shot crushing stuff, so we do have to be a little careful doing this for this like next couple of runs, because my brain is probably just still thinking that this is like 100 super easy. We just you know, stand in everything like that, and it doesn't really matter. So I probably need to engage my brain a little deeper. And of course, fatties are generally not good because they explode, and it hurts when they explode. But as I think I said maybe in a previous episode, sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, this tile set's okay because you can hide around the corner like a total wimp. But in general, it's not a good one. You don't want this one. Right, I mean, we'll still get through this in plenty of time. Just sometimes the Rift Guardian can be a little squiffy if you're not, like, obliterating stuff. So if you get your shield pile on, you get your power pile on, there's probably no real stress. Even a cooldown pile is probably fine, because it just means you can get your horse and your acrats back and stuff like that. But if you turn up to the boss empty-handed and, you know, you've only got to mistakenly press the horse at the wrong time, and just so happen to be on your cheat death, and look, mistakes are easy to make, as evidenced by being potato and deleting an entire hour's worth of recording. I think we're okay for keys as well. I did some at the start of the last episode. It wasn't many, but we picked up some more, I think, doing the visions as well. So, oh, Condi, and probably didn't really need to grab that, but yeah, so I mean, like, that's kind of like at the limit. There we go, rank 414, so we might well be a top 400 Crusader by the end of this. Let's see, what was that? That was like 108, wasn't it? I think we'll push the damage gem. We'll try and get this up the most, because that, I think, is going to be the most helpful. And then we've got swiftness, we've got Ezo, we've got Boon of the Hoarder, I think, to do. They're the only ones really immediately that we need. We do need Stricken, I'm guessing, at some point, but at the moment I think we're okay. So should we be cheeky and try 111, because that will get us presumably past all these 110 players. We get past Vile Bob. and in EMO. So yeah, maybe we do a 111 and then we can be like we can be not far off a top 300 Crusader player. If I rip my character doing this, I'm going to be super peeved with myself, but I think we'll be okay. It won't be like a 2-minute clear this, I don't think, unless we get really lucky with the pylons. We get ourselves a shield and a maybe power shield cooldown. I mean, we could just do 110 speeds. It just does require a little bit of concentration, and things maybe not being quite as fast. But as you can see, the progress bar is like kind of flying. So maybe we're doing a little better than we thought. And of course oh, that was not good. Teleportation lag is never good. And we've got the power pylon now, so this should be rift over, because this should still be active by the time we spawn the Guardian, and we've got an excellent chance of getting another pylon before this map is even finished. So maybe we do sneak in the top 300. I mean, if that was a shield pylon, I'd say we'd definitely be in the top 300. But this is a really fortunate map for us. We're going to clear this pretty comfortably, I think. So we could go back in there and finish that off, I think. But there we go. Shield. Job is good. And don't need to worry about pressing any buttons now. I think we still got the cooldown. Look at this. Power pylon. See you later. 295. There we go. 90 seconds. Boom. Although, do you know what we've done, guys? I've gone and spent the blood shards, haven't I? Like a donut. But top 300, that's good. And the game is back onto the Witch Doctor vibes, because we have found ourselves a dagger of dots. And look, we just nailed all 5 of our upgrades. That almost never happens. Like, never in a million years. Okay, let's just see how comfortable like 107 is. Because that's 4 tiers down from what we've just done. But I do feel like that was a fairly fortuitous set of circumstances. We're looking for like 90 seconds. I think that's kind of what I want to be playing at speed-wise. About 90 seconds quite consistently. Obviously pylons come into it hugely, because it is possible to get like, I don't know, maybe just a cooldown pylon if you accidentally miss a pylon, because it's just hidden in the shroud of the map, and then you miss another one. But yeah, it's looking like 107. This should be like 90-second run. But yeah, I want 90 seconds or under, I think, because I think that gives us the best chance for primals, the best chance for the going nightmare keys. If we can do stuff super fast, I think we kind of may as well. But yeah, maybe 108 would be doable. I think investing in the Boon of the Hoarder early is a fairly decent idea, because if we're only looking to rank up a limited amount of gems ourselves, we should actually be able to generate a couple of augments without having to rely on the Echoing Nightmare keys, because again, finding loads of those is tough. Like, so that was 107, that was 2 goes of the horse for the boss, and that was with the shield pylon. So again, it just does kind of depend. We'll pick up the chest plate and the amulet just in case they are things that we want. They aren't, so that doesn't matter. Right, let's do Hoarder. This might be a mistake, because we might well find enough Nightmare keys to fully augment out our build with stuff to spare, but then also we may well not. So I think we've picked up the hardcore amulet. This is, I think we talked about this in a couple of episodes ago, the unique amulet that only drops on hardcore, that gives you cheat death but then destroys itself. Interesting item. Can't say I've ever used it. We do need to press on with some extractions as well, actually, for like the season and journey purposes. So I do not care what the extractions are, because We're not going to be doing anything other than this build, and we've obviously got everything that we need for it. Is there anything else we can do? Depth diggers, they can come out. Braces of Fury can come out. So we're just doing anything, don't really care. The Arcane Amulet, let's do that as well. There we go. We might have to do some more, I think, for later parts of the journey. That is a fairly nice Holy Stone of Jordan, but I think we've got one that is suitable already. We possibly should have kept it as a spare. Actually, right, don't spend the shards, filthy. Let's not make that same mistake again. And yeah, this should be the last one, and then we should be able to be fully done with the altar, except for we just need some more primals now. And maybe that's worthwhile dropping back down to like 105, just to like 60-second the life out of them. But I mean, we could do 3 or 4 episodes and not see another primal. That's just how they go. They are quite rare at times. And as much as I was complaining at the length of time it took to drop the gemstone from Chiltara, well, Primal's much slower than that. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe 105 is going to be the strat for that. We could also do visions. Visions definitely yields more primals than GRs, just because generally they're like sheer amounts of stuff that you drop. But I'm going to say I don't think it's worth it, because I would still rather get the Echoing Nightmare keys at this point, and the Paragon points, and the gem levels. So I think this is just kind of, you just got to take it on the chin and be patient. Which is definitely not one of my strong suits in this game, being patient. But yeah, I'm wondering if 105 is the correct difficulty to be playing on, just to keep it super zippy and speedy. I mean, nothing wrong with this. This is fast. But I'm just thinking, could we make it a little faster? Sacrifice a bit of XP just whilst we're looking for the stuff for the augments. And I'm also kind of tempted to run Sanctified puzzle as well to gem up, so that we can then do the augment. Maybe do another Echoing Nightmare as well. We can put on 2 augments, and they'll help us out a bunch. It might be like 5 or 10% extra damage at this point. So it is worth it. There we go. Spare flail. Possibly don't need it. Right, don't be a donut, filthy. Do not get back to town and use your blood shards. We need to go and plug them into the cube, I think. How many keys? We're on 34 keys. So we've got plenty of keys. So that is good. Let's go and do the altar now before we forget. So that is dodge chance upgraded. So all we need, guys, is the next 2 primal things. So we're waiting on finding a gift is essentially like finding a primal for us at the moment, because of course we are waiting on that other flail. Right, that was a 2-minute run. So basically, I think what we do is if you ever hit a run that is more than 2 minutes, and so long as you didn't get like horrendously lost, you should probably just drop the GR down, because we want to be getting 90 seconds. So you kind of just want, even like on a crap map like this, you kind of just want to be making a load of progress as you run through, because the stuff gets one shot. So maybe even 103 is like the correct difficulty at the moment, just to make sure that we're always hitting that like 90-second threshold, or like 9 maps out of 10, or maybe 8 maps out of 10 we're hitting it. Because like that's a little slow, I think. And that was a little slow because we've got no squirts, because we're just standing in stuff basically. So again, that goes back onto the gizzard, and it may well be that is worthwhile leveling, at least for like making like a super fast speed build. But then I think once we've got like 10 Echoing Nightmare keys, I think we're probably set. So we've already got 1 augment we can do. We've got another Echoing Nightmare key, so I think if we get another 10, then that'll probably be the bulk of the work done. Because as I say, there might well be scope to do a couple of augment gems, just like with our own keys as well. And we will need a couple of spares because we might well find something better. But we don't need a ton, which is weird because normally speaking, I'm trying to augment every build known possibly to man. And I'm just thinking I need as many of these keys as possible. Right, okay, let's see how this is. We've got the power pile on, we've got the squirts up, so yeah, fine. That's better. That's kind of more the range that I wanted. A little bit over 90 seconds, but I think that was probably not a great map. So let's get the Hoarder up to 42. Then that is nice for gold. I don't think I'd bother making a gold build. I do like gold. I normally make a gold build across the course of a season, but I think maybe on this account we won't. Right, I think I'm just going to keep up collecting a few of these just in case we want to change the stats. So that one's definitely for the bin now, isn't it? I know we can re-sanctify these things. This is fine. But I think we're going to try and get the materials out of them because we can get keys out of them, which I think is probably going to be what we would probably hope for. Either that or the 15 Forgotten Souls. DBs does not interest me at all. That is like completely worthless. And yes, cow sticks are going in the bin because, again, I'm not sure how high this number's going to go. And like, I just think we're gonna have be flush. We're going to be over on the bounty mats, so I don't really see the need for spawning tons and tons of visions. Let's do belt. Ooh, I thought that was cassettes, but it's got the exact same icon, but that is of course the nightmare belt. Right, this looks like a nice map. And I guess at this point, this is just a case of spend the keys, try and get all the gems up to a decent level. Then maybe we go and do the Echoing Nightmare key that we've got. Hopefully speaking, we find a second key whilst we spend these Greater Rift keys. And then we can slap a couple of augments on the build, having gone and done a sanctified puzzle. Is this the right way? This is looking the right way. Feeling optimistic. Gobble up the orbs. We're just going to bail into the next floor. Again, this tile set's fine for Crusader. Not too bad. It is one you can get lost on. Like that. But in general, it's not too bad to read. It's like a much worse version of Battlefields, I guess. And the exit. Yeah. And for some reason on this tile set, the exit kind of like gets revealed really early. Well, I mean, things just keep improving, eh? Nice festering woods. And a shield pylon. Perfect. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little panicked on my main account as to whether I can actually get 150 done this season. Again, that's just going to be a case of lack of game time. So we've got another angelic crucible, so that is good. We will gladly take that. But yeah, I'm going to have to do, I think, quite a bit of work outside of work, and that's going to definitely eat into game time. I've got about a month, I think, before I have to stop playing for a really big IRL trip. So I've got a month to get it done. I think I'm going to try on the monk first. I realise it's going to be quite squishy with only the 2000 paragon, but I think it's probably the strongest option. The other one is barb, because I know that is capable of clearing it at the kind of the paragon that I've got, albeit you have to be like a top tier player to do that. But if I've got a month to add another like 200 or 300 paragon on, if I can get like 2.3k maybe, possibly I'll find it doable on the barb, maybe. Perhaps a bit too optimistic. I need to go and do a whole bunch of vision farming on my main, because I've got like 7,000 Forgotten Souls and I've got no bounty materials pretty much. So that is definitely something on my to-do list for that. Still haven't set up my wizard. I've only just set up my monk. Yeah, lots to do. But it's good to be busy. It's good to have things to occupy your attention, keep you out of trouble. Yeah, I'm rocketing along with the Paragon, 833. That's not bad for like 10 hours. And again, I guess like it does look like the Altar of Rites is pretty doable in 10 hours because we have been doing this on hardcore SSF. So I know we got a lot of like really nice look at the start of the series, but I think that, you know, is probably balanced out because if you were playing just like normal D3 in groups, you'd find a lot of the bits of the altar faster, I think. Pick up the belt. It's not Vigilante, but there we go, guys. Boon of the Hoarder is done. So unless we die, that is that task finished. We don't have to put any more levels into one ever again. Spying the Gem of Ease out the corner of my eye there, that is still something that potentially needs some work. But for the moment, I think we're going to concentrate on the main gems because barring some horrendous lag, I feel like 105, it should be okay. I'm going to have to make a couple of mistakes in a row, I think, to put us in difficulty. Just simply because we spit out quite a lot of damage. Not impossible, but I think we're okay. But we should get that up to, I think, 25 at least. No real reason for that. We obviously don't need it to be level 1 to put in the weapon anymore because of the Altar of Rites. But it'll just make, you know, if we rip this character, you know, we do something stupid, whatever. A level 25 one, I think, will just help out a bunch. So I'm not entirely sure how many times you should be leveling a hardcore character. And like, if you never die, are you not pushing it hard enough? Are you staying too far in your comfort zone? Obviously, you don't want to be like losing all your gear and stuff. But again, I guess that's something for me to learn and reflect upon, having done this for like the full 30 hours of a season. And obviously, some people put in like 100 hours across the course of a season. I'm not quite sure how many hours I've put in so far. I worked out my grand total the other day across all my accounts like a few months ago. I was just like, wow, that is a lot of Diablo 3. And not much of it on Witch Doctor. But still, probably more than I'd thought. Right, let's do ESO up, I think, because that probably helps us if we go off and do any more Echoing Nightmares. And that's going to be handy. The dodge chance on the swiftness is nice, but I think the ESO is just a bit more of a consistent toughness buff. And Stricken, of course, is something that we do have to think about as well. So we've still got quite a few gems to like kind of get up there or thereabouts. Right, another angelic crucible is nice. We've got another Stone of Jordan. I think maybe we want to keep... We probably don't need one, do we? We've got... So if we died, we'd have... Well, there's no point keeping that cold one, is this? Let's swapsy that in. I'm just thinking what happens if we die, which is possibly not the best attitude to have. Yeah. In terms of clan requests, guys, they are still coming in. People are still asking. You just need to make sure that you're not in a clan currently, because I can't accept anybody who is in a clan. And if I don't happen to catch you online the same time as me, well, it's quite hard to tell you. Oh! Oh, wow. Primal Cassette's Cord of Righteousness. Damn. We don't want this on the character, guys. We don't want it. Even this is Primal, we don't want this because we're going to lose a stat. Oh my days. Maybe we use it whilst we look for a vigilante bolt. I don't think I've ever found this Primal. Wow, the luck just carries on. I mean, it's 2 of the 3 isn't it? So once we find a gift, we've got those two. I think we use this for a bit and then there's no advantage to plugging it into the altar right now, is there? So let's use it. Let's hope we don't die. We don't want armor, we want life percent, because I think it's got arcane as a secondary. So look at that, damage and toughness. I wouldn't org this, guys. I really wouldn't. And the reason I wouldn't is because yeah, I think the extra stat is just too valuable to us as a build. But look at this, 2 primals. This is like better than my main account. This is insane. A very nice gold wrap, ancient gold wrap. So let's swapsy those 2. Wow, I can't believe that. That is just ludicrous. We've got a spare cassettes. Do we have spare vigilante? Yeah, we've got a couple of spare vigilante. We want that as our spare vigilante though, because it was better. So again, we'll leave another one in. But that's what I need to get into. ZDH 138. That's what I need to do on my main. Just spend like 5-6 hours doing that. Wow, Primal-tastic, guys. I think let's just get greedy. Let's just keep going belts. Let's do it. That is insane. Chuck those 11 Paragon points on. 30 keys. So I guess we keep grinding. And I think once we get our next Echoing Nightmare key, and maybe if we get one more Primal and a gift, then we'll plug the cassette into the cube for the Primal, or to the altar rather, because then that'll be done. So we're only 1 Primal away from full altar maxing, and again that's been kind of like 10 hours. I would say we've had luck with the Primals though. Like, as an example, I've played like whatever 40-50 hours on my main account this season, crafted like a bazillion Guardians, and I haven't crafted a single Primal yet. So yeah, we've had some luck, I guess. But I mean, it is kind of possible in the 10 hours, and the longer the time frame, the less the luck comes into it. So, like, we've been really lucky with some bits, but I guess like spending an hour on Chiltara probably is unlucky in today's game. So of course, the longer the period of time, the more the luck spikes will flatten out. But yeah, it does look like 10 hours is about right for full altar completion, which is good to know, because I think I used to say about 20 hours, so it's certainly a lot faster than that. And that means you can get it, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could get it done opening night. Certainly over the opening weekend, which again kind of fits, because I do normally get it done on the second day, albeit I don't tend to prioritize it. I tend to prioritize like building up characters for videos and stuff rather than pumping everything into the altar. But yeah, good to know. So we'll carry on with ESO, make ourselves a little tougher. We also need to upgrade the gems in the chest plate and in the pants as well. That's something that can be done. We'll do that after we've done the sanctified puzzle. We might just do 2 of those in a row. I think that should give us enough gems for like a while to catch up on. Yeah, and we could start looking out for secondary gold find as well, just to try and help us out with that a little bit. But yeah, this 105 stuff feeling really comfy now. And this is what you want to see. Nice, good map, and it looks like it's potentially clearable in like between the 60 and 90 second mark. I think someone in our clan a few weeks ago was trying to clear one in under 40 seconds. So they deliberately weren't going any higher. They just kept running and running and running, hoping they'd get like, you know, that dream fastering woods with like super juicy density, full pylons maxed out to clear it in 39 seconds. But I don't think they managed it. They got really close a few times at 40-41 seconds, but it was quite funny. Quite enjoyed it. The type of thing I would do. Just for the laugh. But yeah, I guess I don't know what the strategy is in terms of pushing, as in like do we fully augment up the build first before we try and push? Or do we try and push without that? We've got a mighty belt. Still no gift. Again, gift, you can get stuck on gift for a while. It can be fiddly. But yeah, I'm not sure whether we want to pump the character up to like all of its glory before we start pushing up. I guess that makes sense because I don't really want to be doing multiple pushes. So how long it'll take to basically get everything finished. So maybe we do and we get like 2 goes at put. And let's face it, I'm probably going to rip the character anyway because I'm a donut. So we do have to be a little careful about going back and getting extra stuff. So maybe some extra spare augments would not be the end of the world, because that way we can kind of put a character back together a little bit. But obviously if you do rip pushing with all your best gear on, it's going to be hard to recover from, because the gear that you put on is going to be like at least 10 and 15% worse. And that's assuming it's all augmented as well. So a death probably would hit your progress pretty hard. But I don't know, excited, fun challenge, stuff to learn. And I think this series is definitely going to make me a better player. It's going to help me out a lot for next season, I think. And what I really should do is probably have a little bit of a practice pushing on my main account, so that I'm not like completely brand new to it when I try and come to it. But yes, nearly gave my favourite pro tip there, which is don't stand in explosions. More to myself rather than anybody else. But yeah, this is good. This feels comfortable. Progress bar moving really well every rift. I think this feels like the right level, and I think we can get it higher. Could do a couple more higher once we've got a couple of orgs. But I think this is feeling comfy for me. Because of course, the faster we flip, the more chances. Each time we finish one of these, we've got a chance at the gift socket. And of course, we can't roll that with bloodshot, so that is just a drop. So we are at the mercy of RNGs again. And unfortunately, my brain is really struggling to pick out the difference between the episode I recorded earlier today and this one. So I think we found this convention at the start of this episode, but it could have been the last one. Right, we're now up to 7 of these angelic crucibles, so that's good. So we can certainly plug 3 or 4 of them into puzzles. We've got another Flail of the Ascended. I think we're okay with vitality and damage percent. In addition to strength as our 2 things, but just in case, I definitely don't want more than 10 puzzle rings. I think that's going to be overkill, so we only really need a couple more of those. And I guess we just keep the angelic crucibles as spares in case we rip and have to like remake stuff or whatever. But again, they're a resource to be used, so it probably would be better if we could get them spent somehow. So maybe convert them into like just items and then break them down and salvage them. Right, we're still going belts because we still want that ancient vigilante. More primals, man. Do you ever just like sit and stare at your primals and be like, wow, looks so nice, everything's perfect, it's all perfect. We've essentially got four primals on this build, which is pretty bonkers. We will of course be dropping down to 3 pretty soon. Yep, nice map, we'll take this. But yeah, the squirts, we probably want one with double crit and elements, but they are very hard to get. Normally speaking, every season I end up with the correct rolls that are ones, because it's a class universal item, so if you get quite lucky, you'll find one with like 9.5% crit chance, 87% crit damage, and it doesn't matter what class you find that on, because you're then just rolling the elements. You roll the main stat off for element. But so far this season, I don't think I've found one like that. So got some more grinding to do. But of course, once you found one, you do like it's a common primal to find as well for the same reason. It's in the loot pool for everything, and because we now essentially get double primals once your altar's unlocked, you do tend to find a lot of the same primals over and over again. So squirts is normally one that gets ticked off during the course of a season, just for the sheer volume of items found. Of course, being primal does not guarantee it's going to have the rolls that you want, but it gives you a really good chance, doesn't it? And yeah, looking like another fast one. So happy days, pop the acrobats, a little bit of extra damage. Now, I don't know quite how far away I need to be for the Zais as well. That's another thing I could probably do with wearing. More Witch Doctor stuff, guys. We've got ourselves Mundanugu. Is it Mundanugu gloves? It might not be Mundanugu gloves. They might be. It's Mundanugu shoulders. I think it's Zuni gloves. And Firewalkers. Big Daddy Den. Witch Doctor build. Come on. Must have been the Spider Shield. The Spider Shield has caused the game to be like, oh, you want to play some Zuni gloves and Mundanugu this, that and the other. Must be what it is. And it's caused me to get distracted, ID my stuff, which I don't want to do. Right, we'll put the compass rose with the socket in there. We're collecting quite a few compass roses. Again, at some point we'll have to go through them and clear them out. But I think we're at about an hour now, so we'll call this the last run of the day. And maybe I should have ended that then with the Witch Doctor stuff. But we'll carry on for one more. Will the game reward us with a super sweet, delicious primal, or better yet, the gift socket, or better yet, both of those things, a useless primal that we can happily feed into the cube, and then a gift socket. I mean, what do we do if we get Primal Vigilante built? I guess we keep it, subject to its stats being decent. Yeah, it's so funny, man. The primals you normally find are normally trash, completely unusable, like Templar relics, Kraid's Flame. I seem to find that every single season primal. You know, there's an argument that Primal Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is pretty bloody useless. Normally find one of those as well. But so far we've found a Cassette's Cord of Righteousness, usable. Not ideal, but usable. The Guardian's Braces, it's like I can't put those in their altar. It's like they've got six crit. You know, it's fantastic. It's the dream. So who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll find another usable primal. The next one. 1 an hour, I guess, is probably a reasonable rate. It's like, again, you can easily go 3-4 hours, not see one. And then see a few. Now that's assuming that you're like blasting pretty hard, doing everything pretty fast, and probably also includes like the doubling. I wonder if we'd have enough primals. So once we've got the altar, I wonder if we'll find enough to do a primal only hardcore challenge. We've got another Flare of the Descended. So this could be ancient with all the stats we want. And this is how I view it, guys. We're always optimistic. Whatever we find, we always think it's going to be the best. So let's have a little look. No, wrong again. Never mind. Right, well, that was the episode, guys. It was episode 9, it was kind of episode 10 secretly, but it's actually episode 9. I've been the Filthy Casual. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy, guys. Peace.